here. I'm Ricardo Outi, the founder and the managing partner of ASC Capital. ASC Capital is a research-based and data-driven investment management platform. I founded the company almost 10 years ago based on the needs of a couple family offices that were looking to invest meaningfully in real estate and different than the traditional way of buying REITs or the large big boxes. They want to own buildings, and I think we facilitate that. Fast forwarding to today, we have a few or many family offices that doing the same. So in a nutshell, just to contextualize, if you are in the private wealth industry and real estate will represent like anything between 5 to 20, 30% of your portfolio, depending on the family office's needs and strategies. It's very hard because the margins are very thin. Even if you have like over billions of dollars in AUMs, you need to have in order to have a dedicated real estate specialist, it will cost money, and most of them won't have that. So in a nutshell, they will hire us as an outside CIO or real estate advisor, if you will. So much happening, right? Geopolitical issues, immigration issues, and so on and so forth. But I think besides the what I call the recalibration of this new interest rate, because we came from until 2022 on a decade of lower interest rates and now coming from a more normalized interest rate, I think asset price in general will recalibrate. But private real estate, it takes longer because transactions need to happen and the loans need to mature and so on. I think that's one of the biggest things. But besides that, I think also depends on the asset class. But if you're gonna ask me across the board, like the biggest thing and thing people talk about and so on, I think AI definitely, if you're in 2030 something and you wanna look back into the 2020, 2030 decade, maybe AI might be something very interesting, like new asset classes, for example, that's being emerging, such as data center, that come from almost zero to like billions and billions. So I think that's definitely gonna be one of the biggest things. Yeah, that's the challenge. I think participating, that's one of the things, participating in an event like this, you kind of hear from many market participants, but definitely I think this flow of capital that's not been happening much since 2022 with the increase of interest rates. I think if you're an investor, have meaningful amount of capital, I mean, some of your capital is stranded. You're not receiving much capital back because there's not much of cash on cash returning, or assets are not being sold because there's not much transaction volume, so you're not reinvesting. And so you're not reinvesting, if you want to sell something, there's not much capital there because there's just less. It's improving. 2023 has improved, 2024 higher than 2023, 2025 higher than 2024. But it's a gradual improvement, right? And everybody here is super optimistic this year relative to last year. But I think we want to see a much higher pickup, and I hope that's going to be happening in the next certainly couple of years. But that's definitely a challenge because there's not much capital flowing relative to before, and I think that's one of the challenges. I mean, if you're owner, or if you want to sell, or if you are an investor and want capital back, I think that's definitely patience required. If you are under-allocated into real estate, I think this is the perfect time, right? Because there's so much seller that needs to sell, and there's no much capital from the existing investors that are over-allocated or well-allocated. I mean, they're waiting for the capital to come back. But if you need to sell, and you're gonna lower your base, right? And if you're new to this sector, or if you're well capitalized and see the opportunity to buy high quality assets below replacement costs, really well located. I think those are the biggest opportunities that we see today, and that's where we want to capitalize on. Well, I love those events, especially this one, this time of the year, because it's the year that we are finalized as a group our plans for 2026. And I think the connectivity and the intellectual capital should be plugged with the like-minded and the industry just to see trends and what's happening. I like, for example, the notion that people are very optimistic. We see like a pickup in transaction volumes, as I alluded to. So I think the connectivity is definitely the biggest takeaways and why I liked these events.